Welcome back, football fans, to Play Action Takes, Apollo Media's NFL podcast brought to you by Zing Zang, America's number one Bloody Mary mix. It's America's number one Bloody Mary mix for a reason. Go get Zing Zang today. Zang responsibly. Shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint, longtime sponsor of the show. We love Big City Wings. And shout out to Pretzel Ice. Kush just ate like 16 Pretzel Ice off camera right before we started. Shout out to Pretzel Ice for sponsoring our fantasy football league, going live Thursday. This is going out Friday, so go catch back up if you didn't participate live. It was a blast. We're going to have a ton of fun on Thursday night. It's going to be chaotic. All the podcasts are a part of it. Shout out to Pretzelized for sponsoring that. Best snack in the game. Go get it for football season. Get your crunch on with Pretzelized. I'm your host, Stone Strankman, joined always by Kush Patel. How we doing, brother?
We're doing great, man. Happy, what day is today? Wednesday?
It is.
Yeah, Wednesday. So we're one day closer to NFL season. Cut day has passed. Just passed yesterday, so we're almost there, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, Pretzelized is going to be a big part of our football season this year. So get your crunch on with Pretzelized. It's the best snack in the game for football season. Just put it in a little bowl, grab the box, do whatever you need to. Grab the pita chips, grab the crackers, do whatever you need to. Get your Pretzelized today, ready for football season in the pantry. Today, we're going to preview the NFC West. We're almost done with divisions. We've got one more set of divisions to go after this week. NFC West is an interesting division. I'm curious about this division. I think it could go one of two ways, maybe one of three ways. I can't tell with this yet. But, Kush, what are your initial thoughts on this division, the NFC West?
The NFC West is kind of tricky for me this year because there were some teams last year where they were kind of middle of the pack, and you kind of knew that they weren't going to take the next step and be a really good team. But I think this year there's been a lot of changes in this division, especially from like the lower end teams. But I think that's what makes this division kind of exciting to preview.
Yeah. So last year, 2024 standings, the Rams won the division. They went 10-7. They didn't get a home playoff game, even though they won the division. They had to go play in Arizona, do the Wildfires in California. This team is interesting because this might be the last run, the last dance of Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay's tandem in LA. They've won a Super Bowl. They've been a really good team. They've had great defenders over the years. They've had great teams over the years. This team's a little bit different this year. Matthew Stafford does come back on a one-year deal. They figure out that contract, and I think this might be it for Matthew Stafford in LA.
Yeah, during the offseason, there were trade rumors. They were going to trade him. Like, was he going to retire? All that stuff. And so, Rams fans were kind of on edge. Like, is our guy going to retire? Are we going to have to draft a quarterback? Like, what's going on? But he's back for this year at least. And I think with Matthew Stafford, he's a top 5 to 7 quarterback in the league. He had a late start to his career. When he was with the Lions, they were never really that good. With the Rams, he gets to LA, he wins the Super Bowl, and I think the entire narrative around him as a quarterback changed after that. So, and they've been successful, every year he's been there with McVay, and I don't expect that to change at all. Their defense is really good. Jared Verse is one of my favorite, edge rushers to watch in the league, and yeah, I don't really see this team going anywhere as far as dropping out.
Yeah, I think the only scenario that happens is Matthew Stafford gets hurt, shoulder falls off, his veneers fall out. I don't know which one it is, but if he gets hurt, then it's Jimmy Garoppolo season. And they said in the offseason, while Matthew Stafford was in these contract talks and the trade talks and all that kind of stuff, that Sean McVay is very happy with Jimmy Garoppolo. And I don't see that, but I trust Sean McVay. He's a great coach. He's won a Super Bowl for a reason. He's taken teams that shouldn't gone anywhere and won the division, gone to the playoffs, won a playoff game. They've done these kinds of things before. I think they're a little bit more well-rounded this season. Like you said, Jared Verse is awesome. They added Devontae Adams to their wide receiver group in replacement for Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp didn't have it last year. He keeps getting hurt the last couple of seasons, and then they add Devontae Adams, who could be still really good. He's one of the best route runners in the game. It's another target for him with Puka Nacua on the other side. I think that's an interesting wrinkle to this team. And then Kyren Williams is a fantasy favorite. Everybody loves him in the second round. I don't get it. I could be wrong, but he always gets hurt and he always never performs. So I don't understand that part, but I like the Rams. I don't love the Rams. I like their defense a little bit more than they had last year, but I think they're still going to be. I mean, it's good coach, good quarterback. They're going to win a lot of games. I don't know how many more games they'll win than 10, but they'll be in that same ballpark, I believe, this year, as long as Matthew Stafford is healthy, because I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo for anything.
Yeah, with the Rams, I mean they weren't really dominant last year. You know, they were 10-7. It's funny because week 2 last year they get dog walked by the Cardinals like 41-10, and then later on they go on like a 5-game win streak in December to like make a run to the playoffs. So, is there a possibility where they drop some games in the division and they don't win the division? I mean, I don't see what other team can possibly make that jump into leading the division, but again, you never know. Like you have Kyle Shanahan in this division as a coach. 49ers are always right there. With Seattle, you've got the new look Seattle Seahawks with Sam Darnold, which we're gonna get into later. So, I mean, anything can happen, but I'm I'm betting on Sean McVay and Matt Stafford to win the division.
Yeah, this team lost to the Dolphins in Week 11 last year. Dolphins team was not very good, even with Tua at quarterback. It's an interesting team. I think they'll be in that same ballpark. I think they can win 10 games. I think they could win 12 games if things go right in their division. I don't know if it will. This next team in the division, they got second in the NFC West last season, the Seahawks. Seattle, they went 10-7 as well. I guess they lost the season head-to-head record or the tiebreaker record. They lose Geno Smith, and they replace him with Sam Darnold, who won 14 games last year for the Vikings out of nowhere. I don't understand that. They lose DK Metcalf to the Steelers, but their defense is their strength. Their defense is where they're going to win games. Their running backs are really good with Kenneth Walker Jr. or the third. I think he's the third. And then Zach Charbonnet. Like, they have a good running back group. Less weapons now. They have JSN still, but other than that, I don't see a lot of upside on the offense. If Sam Darnold is as good as he was last year, that helps because you have Justin Jefferson last season. If JSN turns into something really good this year, that helps their chances. But I think with how good their defense is going to be, they're going to be in the same ballpark in between 9 and 11 wins. It's just that their offense doesn't really do it for me. They got a good running game, but outside of that, I don't know if I trust them. Their offensive line is okay. It's not great. Their defense is really good. So they should win a few more games. Year 2 of McDonald as well for their head coach. So might get a little bit of a bump there. We'll see what happens with the Seahawks, but I think they're in that same kind of general position. I don't think they necessarily took a step back with Sam Darnold at quarterback from Geno Smith, but losing DK Metcalf and only leaving JSN out there and no Tyler Lockett, like, it's going to be an interesting team this year.
Yeah, Seattle is, they've made a lot of changes. Like you said, Geno Smith's gone, Sam Darnold's coming in off of a really, really good career year for him in Minnesota. And JSN's going to have to step up and be that wide receiver one for them. They have a lot of new players on offense. But their defense is really, really good. Like you said, I think their defense is, if they do make that next jump, if they do make that next leap, then the defense is going to be a part of the reason why. But for me, offensively, the one thing that's kind of, giving me hope that they're going to be better on offense is they've got Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator. He can be a good play caller. So I'm kind of curious to see what Clint Kubiak can do with Sam Darnold. Like, can he get some of Minnesota Sam Darnold out of him this year?
Yeah,
I don't think Sam Darnold's ever gonna have as good of a year as he did last year again. But if he can channel some of that, then I think they can have some success.
Yeah, they added Cooper Kupp to the wide receiver room. Doesn't do it for me. I think Cooper Kupp is on the back end of his career. I think he's lost a step a little bit, and he doesn't have Matt Stafford throwing him the ball anymore, where Matt Stafford's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He's very accurate. He does all these things right. Sam Darnold was that last season, but when you have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison across the field from each other, it's like gets a lot easier. JSN and Cooper Kupp are not those two guys. They will have a pretty good running game to go with it. So we'll see how that shakes out for the Seahawks, but their defensive line is a lot of fun. I mean, Byron Murphy, it might have a standout season this year. He might be one of the better defensive tackles in the league after this year. DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, like they've got a pretty good front seven working there. Their corners, their secondary, they have Devon Witherspoon and Shaquille Griffin. It's not bad. It's not the best in the league, but it's good. It's a great start. I think their defense is really, really, really good, top 10 good. It's just I don't think their offense is going to be top 12 good. And I think you need both of those things to kind of compete, especially in this division where you have the Rams and the 49ers that could take a big leap this year. I'm a little weary of the Seahawks offense. I love their defense. So they should win some games just because of their defense. And if their offense steps up, they'll win a lot more games.
Yeah, on the Cooper Cup thing, I get where you're coming from. Where like he's, the injuries have kind of piled up with him, but I think being in his home state with the Seahawks, I think that'll give him an extra juice of like motivation to, play better, be a playmaker for this team. If he can go out and do that, then I like what the Seahawks offense can do. But again, it's gonna go back to like what version of Sam Darnold are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the one in Carolina where he's seeing ghosts out there throwing picks, or are we gonna get the one that we got last year where he's kind of like he put it all together and he just became a really really good quarterback.
I want to say in Carolina, they started out like 3-0 one year with Sam Darnold. And then it went to shit after that. In New York, he saw ghosts against the Patriots on a primetime game. I can't remember if it was Monday night or Thursday night, but one of those two. Yeah, if we get Minnesota, Sam Darnold, this team's really good, and it's pretty terrifying to go against. But we just don't know. We've only seen one good year of Sam Darnold, and that was with arguably the best wide receiver in the game and another wide receiver that's probably top 15 in the game. So that helps a lot. And then you have a great quarterback coach with Kevin O'Connell over there. Like, they had it going in Minnesota. So we'll see with the Seahawks. The third team in this division last season, the Cardinals, Arizona, went 8-9 last season. It's Kyler Murray again. It just feels like the exact same team. Like, nothing changed. Nothing got better. Feel like we're just primed for another. James Conner's a really good fantasy running back. Kyler Murray's fun when he can run around. If he can't run around, he's going to make mistakes. That's all I see with this team.
The Cardinals. I mean, I liked Marvin Harrison Jr. Coming out of Ohio State, and I feel like last year when they drafted him, fans like all around the country were like, "Man, Kyler Murray and MHJ on the same team, like it's gonna be fun to watch." But we never really got to see that last year, and maybe he'll start to develop into that this year. But like you said, I just don't know about the Cardinals. Like we've been waiting on them to make that jump for a few years now with Kyler Murray, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this: Jonathan Gannon might be on the hot seat this year. Like if they don't make at least a little bit of noise, it might be time to fire him.
Yeah, I feel bad for Gannon. Like, he came into a pretty bad situation, had to rile the boys up, get a little bit of rah-rah in them, and was dealt a rough hand, obviously, of Kyler Murray, a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. Could potentially be a great quarterback in the future. We just haven't really seen it. He's not consistent enough. You got James Conner in there. You got Trey McBride, one of the best tight ends in the game. Marvin Harrison Jr. joins the team. You're like, okay, we've got weapons around here. And then their offensive line stinks. So, like, the offense can't go because the offensive line isn't good. And then their defense, there's like three guys that I know their name of. That's tough. And one of them's Calais Campbell, and he's like 40 years old. And
Yeah.
Calais Campbell was awesome for the Dolphins last year. I get that, but it's not like he's going to be able to play every snap. He has to come out. Like, he can't play every drive. He's too old now. He's still very good, and when he's on the field, but other than that, it's like Buda Baker, Josh Sweat. It's like their defense just doesn't scream like it's going to win some games for you, especially in this division where there's a few really good defensive teams, and then there's great offensive teams in this division. Like, it's tough sledding in the NFC West. So if you can't outscore someone, which I don't trust them to do just yet because their offensive line isn't good enough, they have the weapons, they have the ability to do it. If their offensive line steps up and becomes average this season, sure, we can talk about it. We can talk about this team in a conversation where they're competing for a wild card. Not going to compete for the division, I don't think, but their defense just doesn't scream like it's good enough to me, and I don't think they have enough guys on that side of the ball to win a few games for them, even if their offense is that elite. So we'll see with the Cardinals. I feel like they're in the same kind of position, that 8-9 wins, maybe max, and then the tail end of it. Like, if Kyler gets hurt, they're probably looking at 4 wins. Like, Jacoby Brissett's going to be your quarterback? No thanks.
Yeah, one guy fantasy wise that I really like for the Cardinals is Trey McBride, their tight end.
Yep.
He's up and coming, one of the best young tight ends in the league. So all the fantasy guys, we got our fantasy draft tomorrow. If any of you guys are listening, Trey McBride, if he's available, take him.
I've seen him go pretty high, like in the second round in like 12-team leagues. Obviously, we're in an 8-team league. We did this kind of last minute. We had 2-3 weeks of prep to get this done and limited number of podcasts and everything. So
Yeah,
the personalized draft is going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot of stacked teams, and anyone can win it. So Trey McBride's going to be a really big piece for someone
yep.
on the tight end spot. But I'm curious to see how high he goes because I don't know how many ball knowers we got in the chat. So
We'll find out,
we'll
right?
we'll have to find out. We'll find out. But yeah, I like their offensive weapons. It's just their defense doesn't do it for me, and their offensive line, from what I went off of last year, not that great. If it could be good this year or average, this is a completely different conversation about the Cardinals. It's just I don't trust Kyler in big moments, and I don't trust that offensive line throughout the duration of a game.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page with that. Like, I love Kyler's a great athlete. Like, he can run around. Like, he has a really strong arm. It's just,
It's like me
I don't
and
know
you
what it
going
is
out
about
there.
him. I don't know what it is.
It's me and you going out there. That's how tall he is.
Yeah.
It's tough. Can't do that. Last team in this division last year, the 49ers went 6-11. It was the season from hell. Everyone got hurt. Christian McCaffrey went to Germany to fix his calves. Like it was just a season from hell. Everyone was hurt. No one was performing when they were healthy. It was a tough season for the 49ers coming off of a Super Bowl appearance. And I really like this roster, man. I think they're back. I think they're right back in it. I think their defense is great. I think they have one of the best coaches in the game in Kyle Shanahan. If Christian McCaffrey comes back healthy, this team's a real damn problem for the entire NFL, not just this division.
Yeah, the 49ers, they had a down year last year. They did pay Brock Purdy, so he's going to be there for a while. He's
Yep.
going to be their franchise quarterback. If this team stays healthy, I think they can challenge the Rams for that number one spot. I think they're that good. Kyle Shanahan, like, I know people have been kind of down on him ever since he's been losing the Super Bowls and all that stuff, but I still think he's one of the best coaches in our league. And no more Debo Samuel. They lost a couple pieces on defense, but I think this team is still, when healthy, when playing well, this team is still a team that can rattle off enough wins and get back to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, they brought back Robert Saleh as the DC this year as well, who led them to a Super Bowl appearance once upon a time. Still too many kids to be an NFL coach for my liking, but at least he's a defensive coordinator this time and not the head coach. He's not in charge of everyone. I think he has 8 kids, dude. Like, you can't have that many kids.
8 is crazy.
Can't have that many kids and be a great NFL coach. It's just not possible. It's insane. But yeah, I mean, is it Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa is on this team? Fred Warner, like they've got some of the best defensive pieces in the game still. No Debo, but you get Ricky Pearsall back. He got shot last offseason. People don't talk about that enough. He got shot in the chest. Like,
now he's playing football.
And now he's playing football. Like, could have died, and now he's back. I think their wide receiver room's a little lackluster, but if Christian McCaffrey is Christian McCaffrey again, and George Kittle is doing what George Kittle's been doing for the last how many ever years, you'll be able to get by on offense where your defense is going to shine, I think. So I really like this team. And Christian McCaffrey is one of those in the fantasy football world where it's like, if you take him and he booms, hell of a pick, because you probably took him late in the first round or early in the second round, and you didn't waste your the number 1 or 2 pick on him. But if he sucks again, fantasy people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
So mad. But I like this team. I like this team a lot. Standings projection. Kush, who do you have winning the NFC West?
I got the Rams winning the NFC West. I still, for me, it was kind of a toss-up between the 49ers and the Rams. But I really like Devontae Adams, that addition to the Rams offense. Like, just thinking about what McVay's going to be able to do with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, move him around, split him out wide. Like, it's just, I think he's going to find so many ways to use them. And I don't think defenses are going to be able to, adjust and stop them this year. Maybe once they have a little bit of film on them, then maybe they'll be able to limit them. But, I mean, that's 2 great receivers in our league that anytime a team has two weapons like that, they're really hard to stop.
I like it. I thought about it. I'm taking the 49ers though. I'm I don't know what it is. They went 6-11 last year. They weren't very good. They didn't everyone was hurt. Everyone's coming back this year. They've lost a few pieces, but it's the 49ers. I'm trusting the coaching. I'm trusting the defense, and I'm trusting that Christian McCaffrey is going to come back and play at least 14 games. If you get that out of them, it seems going to be really hard to beat all the time. I'm taking the 49ers to win the division. Who you got in the second spot?
Second spot, I got the 49ers. I think the Rams are going to be better, but I think the 49ers are going to have a great year. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be one of those years in this division where like it's going to come down to these head-to-head matchups. A couple plays here, a couple plays there is going to win the division. But I think the 49ers are right there.
Yeah. We flip-flopped. I'm taking the Rams. I think they're a wild card team for sure. I think they win enough games to get in as long as Matthew Stafford's arm doesn't fall off. If his arm falls off, I can't hold that. That's not – you can't hold this against me. It's August still. We're talking about it when making these predictions. But as of right now, Matthew Stafford's arm is attached. He is apparently looking good. They held him out of a lot of stuff in the preseason and training camp to make sure that he was ready for the season. So I'll take the Rams in the 2 spot. In the third position, do we have the same team here, Kush?
I got Seattle.
Yep. They're also going to be competing for a wild card spot. I think they're right there. It's going to be tough in the NFC. It's going to be tough sledding to get into the playoffs for the wild card position, but I think the Seahawks have a great defense, and I think they can win a lot of games just based off their defense. If their offense is even average or a little bit better than average, they can win a lot of games, and it's just wait and see. Sam Darnold season, I don't know, man. I just don't know with Sam Darnold. If he's really good, and he was what he was last year, this team wins probably 11 games, 12 games. Like, they can do that. That defense is that good, and their running backs are pretty good. So I would trust them to win that many games if Sam Darnold is good.
Seattle, I don't know about their offense yet because there's so many questions about their offense, but their defense, they're going to win games because they're probably going to win 2 or 3 games just because of their defense. Like, they're that good. And I think this is one of those teams where, like, if you don't bury them early in ball games, like, that's a team that with their defense they can stay in games and just give themselves a chance at the end of the game. So, and those types of teams are the most dangerous.
Yeah.
So, again, like, it's going to come down to their offense. Like, are we going to get Minnesota Sam Darnold? If we get Minnesota Sam Darnold, then watch out for this team to make the playoffs and watch out for this team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
they're going to be fun.
If we don't get that Sam Darnold, then it's going to be really hard to win games in this division, man.
If we get Carolina or New York Jets, Sam Darnold, it's over.
It's not going to be pretty.
You just lit millions of dollars on fire. In the 4th spot, we both have the Cardinals. I think they're comfortably the 4th worst team heading into the season in the NFC West, obviously barring injuries and all these crazy things that will happen in the NFL season. But they're comfortably 4th in this division.
Yeah, the Cardinals, like, I was debating between, because, like you said, we don't know about Seattle's offense yet. So I was kind of debating, like, if the Cardinals make a little bit of noise, like, can they get to that 3rd spot? But I just don't know. I don't know what to expect out of Marvin Harrison Jr. yet, because, I mean, we all thought that he, like, right when he got into the league, he was going to be making plays, but it kind of took him a while to, get up to speed in the NFL. So maybe with this offseason that he's gotten, he's put in work in the offseason, maybe he'll emerge as that receiver that we saw at Ohio State. But then again, you have the question of Kyler Murray. Like, is Kyler Murray a good enough quarterback to get him the football on a consistent basis?
Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So, Cardinals in the 4th spot. Division offensive MVP. Who you got, Kush?
Offensive MVP. Man, there are a lot of great players. I'm going to go Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams is going to be one of the best additions to a team this season. Like, this is a team that they lost to Philly last year in the playoffs. I think adding Devontae Adams puts them in the conversation of not just, like, getting to the divisional round. I think they're a legit Super Bowl contender if healthy. Like I said earlier, like, just think about what Sean McVay is going to do with Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua, man. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to take Brock Purdy here. I think we see what we saw 2 years ago where he came in and threw 4,000 plus yards, 35 touchdowns. I think we're going to see something similar to that. I don't think Matthew Stafford is going to necessarily light it up in a way. Like, I think he's going to have good numbers, maybe not great numbers. I think Brock Purdy could have great numbers this season. I think everybody's kind of coming back healthy. They're reset. They went 6-11 last year. I think they're going to be fine. And I think if they're going to win a lot of games, it has to be because Brock Purdy played exceptionally well and is in one of the better conversations for quarterbacks throughout the league and like top 7 in MVP voting, that kind of stuff. I think Brock Purdy has to do that in order for the 49ers to win a lot of games. And I'm high on the 49ers, so I'm taking Brock Purdy there.
Yep.
Division defensive MVP. A lot of good defensive guys in this division. You've mentioned a few. I've mentioned a few. Who you got, Kush?
I'm going to go Rams again. I'm going to go Jared Verse. Jared Verse had an amazing rookie season last season. You know, I think I'm on this train of like the Rams being the team to beat, not just in the division but in the NFC. Like, I think Jared Verse is gonna have a great year. Like, there's so many great young defensive ends, pass rushers that we have in our league. You know, with Jacksonville, we got Travon Walker. I think he's gonna be really good. Jared Verse is one of those guys. Will Anderson Jr. for the Texans, one of those guys. So I'm just excited to see what Jared Verse can do in year 2.
He was sick last year. He's a lot of fun. I'm going to take another second-year player. I believe he's a second-year player. Byron Murphy II, Seattle. I think their defensive line is really good, and he's going to get a lot of run stops, TFL, sacks, that kind of stuff this year. Their defense is going to be so good. They're going to be able to cover really well, and they're going to be able to rush the quarterback, and I think Byron Murphy is going to be a big product of that. So I'm going to take Byron Murphy. I love the Jared Verse pick. I thought about it since you took him. I'm taking Byron Murphy II.
I like their defensive line, though. Seattle's defensive line is really good.
Yeah, they're going to be nuts this year. It's going to be a fun defense to watch. If their offense can hold up and be at least average, that team's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So that's our NFC West. Any last words on the division here?
Man, I'm looking forward to that Rams and Texans game week 1. I mean, you guys know I'm a Texans fan, and I've been talking up the Rams all episode, so that's gonna be a great game.
Should be a good one. It should be a good one. NFC West preview. That is a wrap for that. We'll be back on Monday for a live show at 2 p.m. to preview the AFC North. We're getting to the last bit of it. We're a week away from football really, really happening. We have real college football this weekend, a few days from now. We're recording this on Wednesday, August 27th. I've got my Mississippi State gear on. I'm in full football mode now. I've found it. I've received it. I've welcomed it with open arms, finally. It took me a lot longer this year, but I'm back. Mississippi State is back, maybe. I don't know. We might win 4 games this year, but we might be back. That's doubling the win total, so I'll take that. I'm all in on football. I can't wait for it. We'll be back live on Monday at 2 p.m. Make sure to join us. Hit us up in the chat. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about the NFC North. Great division to talk about heading into football season. But shout out to our sponsors. Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. They got ready-to-drink cans, the Blazing Bloody Mary mix, Michelada mix. They got margarita mix. They got it all at Zing Zang. Go get it at Tom Thumb, Specs, Total Wine, wherever you get Zing Zang. Zang responsibly heading into football season. Shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Best place to watch a Sunday game is at Big City Wings. But if you're not watching it there, make sure to stock your pantry up with some Pretzelized. Pretzelized, best football snack in the game. Get your crunch on with Pretzelized all football season long. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to you, Kush. We'll be back on Monday at live at 2 p.m. with Play Action Takes, Apollo Media's NFL podcast.
Football's back.